Hi guys, right, I'm back. In this one, we're going to be playing through as many games as possible because I'm trying out this new kind of style that I'm doing, a supercut, where I'm just going to quickly cut through all the games instead of showing every highlight. It'll be a lot faster. We'll get through it a lot quicker, and hopefully it'll be more enjoyable for you guys. So yeah, I'm just going to go right into our game with Sporting Lisbon, and we'll see what's going to happen. Now going into this game here, I was feeling confident. We needed this win to get to the knockouts of the Champions League. That's a lineup there, and yeah, so this is what happened. The full game, it was pretty boring. As you can see here, we're going into half time at 0-0. Now I was still really confident that we could clinch this win until disaster struck early in the second half. A goal from Paulinho set us back 1-0, but there's still plenty of time to get in this, but I was struggling. To try and clinch a draw here to get a point, I made some substitutions, but it was looking bleaker and bleaker as that timer was going down. And as it turned out, I was completely wrong at the start of the game. We ended up losing it 1-0, which would put us third in the table. Though we did have a couple games left in the Champions League, and I was looking forward to taking that second place spot because first place is now out of reach. So from there, I was looking to move on from that disappointing result against Sporting Lisbon and moving on to destroying Motherwell. Or that was the game plan anyway. And Ryan, I know you're watching this video, so you'll like this result. As soon as the ball was kicked, I felt the passion. I felt the passion of the players. Just as Scott Wright runs up here and squares it in to Malik Tillman, who then finishes it top bins. And like a phoenix from the ashes, John Lundstrom bombs up the midfield after a little bit of time out from injury, after this pass from Malik Tillman, and finds the back of the net. And straight off kick-off from the previous goal, we get a little bit of defending going on, and Alfredo Morelos buries it, ending his deadlock of goals. And after a goal from Scott Wright in the 55th minute, which is pretty staunch by the way, we destroy Motherwell 4-0 come the 90th minute, which is a big turnaround from our 1-0 loss against Sporting Lisbon. So after a 3-1 win against Aberdeen in the Cup and a 2-0 win against Livingston in the Premiership, we then look at AC Milan in the Champions League. Now I'd be lying to you if I wasn't shitting my pants when I was going into this game. After the 1-0 loss against Sporting Lisbon, this one was a must win. And I think Cholak knew that too after this tidy finish in the bottom corner after the pass through from Atondo to put us 1-0 up. And would it really be an FM video about Rangers if there wasn't any penalties involved? No, there would not, just as the skipper steps up to take his penalty, which he then goes on to proceed to miss. Fuck. But it's not all bad as Barisic whips one in and Cholak finishes it with his noggin in the 78th minute. And as the 90th minute creeps up, I can smell that second place spot. It looks like we're going to the knockouts. And after beating Aberdeen 1-0 off camera because I forgot to record it, we're looking at Sevilla. If we beat them, we're second place in the group and we're guaranteed knockout football. How hard can it be? And as it turns out, it was very fucking hard, as Sevilla absolutely stomp us 5-0 in the Champions League. This one was a tough one to take, as not only did we get pumped, we then get knocked into the Europa League. Now we won't dwell too much as we're straight into a game against St Johnstone, which we comfortably win 3-0. Now looking towards Europa League draw, we draw Real Hispalis, I think that's how you pronounce it, which is a Spanish side, which we should beat. And our next league game is against Motherwell again, this time it's at home, and after the last time we played them away, we beat them 4-0, and I was confident going into this game that we were going to smash them. And this goal from Morelos just sealed the deal for me. And after a goal from Ben Davies and not one but two goals from Cholak, we end up winning the game 4-0, yet again against Motherwell. And that leads us nicely into our next home game, which is against Celtic, the first Old Firm of the season. But before that, we make sure to bring in a new centre back, James Gomez. But unfortunately we get an offer in for Sakala that we can't refuse for 8.75 million plus add-ons. And after spending a lot of time mentally preparing myself for this decisive game, we finally go into the first Old Firm of the season, where Celtic take an early lead in the first half. But it wasn't long after where Scott Wright pulled this out his locker and buried it to make it one each. And after a lot of back and forth where it seems like no team could get a good attack going, Cal McGregor makes a mistake, which means we could loft a ball over the top where Rabbi Matondo could just finish it easily. And midway through the second half, Tillman pings it to Matondo where he finishes it to get a brace. And after the 90 minutes we win the first Old Firm 3-1. And after a 4-0 win against Dundee United in the league and a hat-trick from Cholak to put us through the Premier Sports Cup, we then spent a little bit of time negotiating players as we had lost Sakala and were bound to lose a few more players in the January window or the end of the season. And after a few more notable wins like 4-1 against Hibs and a win against Wraith Rovers in the Cup, we then go on to our game against Real Hispales, who I've now found out are actually Real Betis, which means I should have been a lot more scared going into this game than I was. At half time, nothing was really happening, nothing was going our way, but we had the fans. And with that, Ben Davies lofts one over the top to Cantwell to find the back of the net, and that is the decider for the game. So after scraping by Livingston at the weekend and finalising a deal that will give us a replacement for Tillman, this is our lineup going into our second leg against Hispales. And after going 1-0 down fairly early, it wasn't looking good, but Tillman saw blood as he scored 2 in the space of 10 minutes. And after Tav's perfect free kick, nobody would fault you for thinking it was over and that we were through, but you'd be wrong, as Ryan Kent was found to be a goth and get a red card as soon as the ref caught wind of it. And after a goal from Jumanji and Rodriguez, everybody was scared as there was only one goal in it, but we ended up holding on and getting through to the next round. And in the next round we drew Capitoline, which I now know is Roma, which means I should be even more scared than I was when I was playing Betis. I'd like to apologise quickly as the next game was actually a cup final against Hearts, but I don't know why, but my PlayStation just didn't record it. But I ended up catching the end celebrations of the game where we were lifting the trophy after John Lundstrom scored a screamer to put us 1-0 up like late in the second half. And here it is here, we're all walking out, it's time for celebrations and time to raise this cup. The next game is Kilmarnock in the league where we won 3-1, not very convincingly, but now it's on to Roma. And after beating Roma 2-0, it was all but done. But we were through to the next round until they knocked us out in penalties in the next game. I don't know how it happened either. So after that thumping from Roma, we were looking for vengeance and we were needing to get the fans on our backs, and that's exactly what we did after winning 7-0 against Dundee United. And after deliberately losing to Celtic to make this an interesting title race, then winning against St Mirren, this is the league table as it stands. It's very, very close. But in our next game we drew with Aberdeen, which made our title hopes very, very, very scarce, which was incredibly disappointing. And after a win against Kilmarnock, we then yet again play Celtic. It feels like we play them every other day this time in the season. But after a goal from Tav, then another one from Roof, then yet another one from Tillman, we beat them 3-0 and become top of the table yet again. And after beating Hearts 3-0 and actually losing to Aberdeen, this is the table, there's 2 points in it. We then beat Hibs 4-0, then what's that? Celtic actually drew their game, which means it's going into the last game of the season against Motherwell. This cannot get any more exciting than this. And after a goal from the man himself, and another from John Lundstrom, and yet another from Hadji, just to let us know that he should be in the starting 11, we win the league 3-1. What a day to be alive. 56 has been brought home. But if you've been paying attention, there's still one cup to play for, and we're in the final of it against the Mankey Mob. Can we do it? Can we get the treble? Watch and find out. Now this seems to be a running theme, but we conceded early from a name that I'm not going to try pronounce, and it didn't deter us as Tillman headed it in the back of the net to bring us level at half time. Where after this screamer, I'd just have to say, from Cal McGregor, and this goal from Rabbi Matondo, it takes us through to extra time, where McCrory had no right to save this penalty, but did to keep us in the game. Which looked like it was going to be the decider, as Matondo finished it with 5 minutes to go, but it was disallowed. Which means we're now going to penalties in the cup final. This is the most exciting season I've ever had on Football Manager. And after a lot of back and forths, I'll let this play out, and you'll see the result at the end. We actually won the treble in my first season in charge of Rangers. What a journey this has been. I didn't think I was going to win the treble at all. I was expecting to win like 1 cup, maybe 2 cups. I was not expecting this, so I'm over the moon. And after all this, that's the season over. We've won a treble, and that's the end of this series. Well, this part of it anyway. If you've enjoyed it and you want to see me attempt to win a European competition next season with this team, leave a like. Leave a comment on your favourite part of this full season. And that's it. Thanks for watching, troops, and goodbye.